ever wonder whether you're helping your locks or you're just doing too much? That definitely makes sense. That was definitely me. And I know if that was me, that was probably somebody else as well. Like it happens to the most of us. We just be so excited to like see it do things that we just be looking at it too much and like maybe nothing's really even happening and we're just overdoing it. Right now, if you came across this video and that was you, definitely know let me know in the comments, like, at what stage, at what point was that you? Did you do too much too early, too soon? What were the side effects? What did you do? I would love to know. It's innocent, it's a part of the learning experience. We're all learning and growing out here, and we don't know until we're there. And yeah, it definitely happened to me as well. But this is a good question. You come to the right place. We all have the same questions, and sometimes no one tells us. We just figure it out the best way we can. So I do want to tap in with some things that definitely felt like I went through, and maybe you guys went through too. If you went through this, definitely let me know. Jump in the comments. Let me know if you experienced this or not. But from my point of view, I definitely want to like just by the end of this call live stream, we got to give you guys like at least four things to walk away with, so you guys can know like, okay, is it just me or is it not me? Am I doing too much? Am I not doing too much? Because sometimes you just need to know and you don't have anyone to ask, and you don't be in your head overthinking things. So thank you guys for popping back in. If you're new here, leave me a comment, let me know where you're from. Replay gang, do your thing. Shout out to the 1K sub gang. Help me get there to the 1K. Here with another short video. We're still on the same conversation regarding our locks, whether we're tripping, whether we're doing something right, whether we're doing something wrong, or we're doing too much. How do we know we're doing too much? What are the signs? What does it look like? And I'm here for y'all. I'm definitely here for y'all, but again, I am not a professional. This is just my point of view from my experience, what I went through. That's all I'm saying. Definitely do your research. Do not rely 1,000% on everything I say, because we all have different experiences out here. Yeah, so that's that part. So honestly speaking, in the beginning of my life journey, I always would look at my hair, of course, and compare to other people, and they say you don't do that. That's self-sabotage. But again, did any of you look at other people in the beginning of your journey, like the first 6 months or the first 18 months? Did you find yourself constantly looking at your locks and compared to other people's locks? It's very normal. Everyone does it. It's a mental psyche, so don't let it get to you. Like do your best to not do that. But again, in those beginning stages, sometimes you may look at your hair and feel like, oh, well, my hair doesn't look like that, or my hair's not doing this, that, and the third. So maybe something is wrong. Maybe it's something not right with me. Maybe something not right with my hair. And we start to think, okay, something doesn't look as expected. So that means something is definitely wrong, because it doesn't look the way we think it should look based on what we saw somewhere else. So that's my first thing. That's the first thing I want to get into. So just because your hair doesn't look the way someone else's hair doesn't mean that it's an automatic urgent fix for you to be triggered and want to do something to your hair immediately. That does not mean that. Definitely get out of the habit of that. Again, don't compare yourself to other people. And when you do compare yourself to other people, you do see those things. That is kind of when you may start feeling, I have to do more. I have to do more. I don't look like this, so I need to do X, Y, and Z. And that's kind of like the trap. Like try to stay away from that. That's definitely the trap. Don't do that. I did that, um don't feel the need to do too much too soon, I feel, because it's like self-sabotage in a lot of ways. I felt like for me, when I did too much and started doing more than necessary, my hair was fighting back and it was doing things I didn't like, and it was kind of hurting and feeling kind of weird, and I didn't like it. So not that that's going to be your experience, but the whole thing is like it doesn't need a lot too soon. It doesn't need a lot too soon in the beginning, and even during the middle and the almost matured and fully locked stages. Less is best always in the journey. Less is always best, I feel, unless you're not washing your hair a lot or not, maintaining it a lot. Then that's less is not best in that sense, in that situation. But the urge to fix it can be a trap. Don't get caught in the urge to fix your hair, because it does look like Tom, Dick, Harry, Jane, Peggy, Susie, Margie, Venus, Wendy. Timothy, your locks are not gonna look like no one else's but yours. They're not gonna look like no one else's but yours. Next to that, I definitely would recommend you to just recognize maintenance as maintenance, and not as, something that you gotta do in like 2.5 seconds. For me, I just feel like I learned that maintenance is a routine, maintenance is steady, maintenance will never, ever, ever feel rushed. And when I say rushed, like maintenance will never feel like, oh my gosh, I have to go home right now, wash my hair right now because X, Y, and Z is gonna happen. Or oh my God, if I don't go to the stylist right now or the beautician right now, this is gonna happen. Or it's never an oh my gosh moment. It's never a I can't go to work moment. It's never I can't sleep, I can't eat, I'm stressed out. Maintenance never feels like that. Maintenance feels like, okay, this is our routine. This is our every 2 week, 4 week, 6 week wash, condition, pose, oil, retwist, air dry, whatever the routine thing is. The time we go shopping for our new products is the time, we do a self care day. Is never anything more than that. It should never feel like, oh my gosh, like my hair's about to fall out, or oh my gosh, I'm gonna be bald, or oh my gosh. It should never be an oh my gosh moment when it comes to maintenance. Maintenance should always, always feel steady. It should never feel rushed. So if it feels rushed, that's a flag that something's wrong. So if you're looking for signs that something is wrong, that's definitely a sign. Maintenance should never feel like something's wrong, like it's a rush to do it. And if you don't do it in a certain period of time, something bad's gonna happen. That's a sign that something's definitely wrong. Maintenance is your wash, your condition, your routine, your oil, your twist, your separation, your air dry day, whatever you choose to do. That's what that is for you as far as maintenance. Anything more is not maintenance and it's definitely you doing too much. And again, the first thing I said from the beginning was something doesn't look expected doesn't mean something's wrong. Just because your hair doesn't look the way someone else's looks doesn't mean something's wrong. So stay away from that. The next thing I wanted to bring about was not that I'm counting off numbers, but interference. Interference. So we all know what interference is. Interference is when we're being stopped or held back, or we're not being able to successfully do something because something is stopping us from doing that. So with that being said, it's like interference comes with urgency. And interference becomes because sometimes we do stuff we ain't supposed to do, whether it's routine, whether it's maintenance, whether it's TLC, DIY, wash conditions, or how we sleep, how we treat our hair. Sometimes the interference like pops up in a weird way. And if it doesn't pop up in a weird way, sometimes interference may look like, you wanting to do too much too soon. Everything's gonna be about doing too much too soon. I feel like, So for example, if you're trying to do extensions on top of your locks, which I don't recommend, but it's each his own. Everyone may do something different because that's what they want to do. But you want to do extensions on your locks, and you just started your lock journey, and you're 6 months in your lock journey. The interference of putting extensions on your locks could mean that your locks are gonna take a longer time to lock up because now there's something stopping them from doing what they're supposed to do in the beginning. Now they're being stopped, bluntly in the middle of the progress of the journey, and now they're doing something else. And that interference can make your life journey longer versus the normal length. So interference is like those. That's just one example. Like that interference can pretty much make your life journey longer than the next person's, or more difficult than the next person's, or more stressful than the next person's, or just a total different experience with the next person. So again, interference we don't recommend in the life journey, but the life journey is about freedom, it's about the free spirit, the choice to do what you want, when you want, how you want it, to not be conformed to like straight hair or conform natural quote unquote hairstyles other people wear. But honestly speaking, less is best. Less is best. I have not had extensions yet, or a weave, or a wig on top of my locks yet at this point. I thought I would have, but I haven't yet, so I don't think I'm gonna go that route. I'm happy I haven't went that route, but if everyone goes that route, cool, great. I thought about getting extensions, still thinking about getting my extensions, one day, maybe for vacation or something like that. But at this point, it's different because my hair is fully matured. When my hair was not fully matured, and if your hair is not fully matured, Getting extensions can be interference, and interference can mess up the life journey or slow down the life journey or interrupt the life journey, but not mess it up, but it can slow it down. But if you don't care about the progress or the speed of your journey, do you live your life. If you don't care about how fast the journey is going to get you or when you want to be fully locked, if there's no time constraints, if you're not worried about how soon it's going to happen, rock out, do you. But if you are concerned about how fast it's going to happen, I wouldn't interfere with that. I wouldn't do too much colors and stuff like that too soon. I would stay away from certain things that's going to just delay the journey altogether. But that's me. That may not be y'all. Um, my latest hairstyle I'm up to. Like it? Must have take it down though. Okay, moving on. I'm so distracted right now. So distracted right now. Um, Another thing to look forward to for me, if I was to do the journey all over again or just in general, was just knowing that sometimes the most important things on your life journey is to do absolutely nothing. Like nothing. Like nothing. When I say nothing, I don't mean nothing like don't wash your hair, condition your hair, or oil it or separate it or do the right thing. I mean, as far as nothing, as far as like sometimes maybe don't experience if you don't feel the need to or you feel like you can't keep up with it. Sometimes don't do styles you know that are high maintenance that you can't keep up with, or sometimes don't be adventurous in trying different stylists and locticians, every week, every month, or every day, every year, like sometimes just sit still. Sometimes just sit still and do nothing. And that's fine. To sit still and do nothing is totally, totally fine. You can definitely just sit still and do nothing as long as you're continuing to do your at least your basic routine. If you're doing your basic routine, you can definitely sit still and do nothing. When I say sit still and do nothing, that means you don't have to jump out with colors and weaves and wigs and extensions and multiple people in your head. You don't have to do any of those things. Those are just some examples. Those are not things that I'm saying you have to. Those are not law. Just those are some things are just an example. But teach his own. So again, I'm gonna recap everything. The first thing I said I would do or I've experienced, in my part of the journey was, or some people just in general, they look at their hair and they think something is not what it's supposed to be, and they start looking at other people here, and then they feel like they have to fix their hair. I would stay away from that. I will also stay away from, the feeling of all of a sudden having to immediately do a DIY treatment condition or hairstyle immediately when nothing is wrong and you're calling it maintenance. Your maintenance are your scheduled days, whether it's Sundays or Fridays or mornings or afternoons. Those are your set days that you do your washing, your conditioning, your oil, everything you do to your hair. So if all of a sudden you have to urgently run home to do something, or you don't want to go to work or school because of your hair, or all of a sudden you need to buy this expensive product, all of a sudden, those are key flags that something is just not right, because that normally doesn't ever happen. That's definitely a sign that something's probably not right. And another one is, the interference, trying to do too much too soon when it's not necessary. You don't need to do too much. All you need is your regular maintenance. Anything more is too much. Like I said, less is best. And lastly is, sometimes just realizing sometimes the best thing you can do and the most important thing you can do is nothing, which means leave it alone. Don't touch it. Don't trigger it. Don't bother it. Don't stroke it. Don't annoy it. Don't frustrate it. Don't do too much to the point where your hair is giving up on you. That's what it is. But good evening, Jose. How are you? Hope all is well. Thank you for popping in. This is just a short stream. Nothing too lengthy at all. Hope you had a great one. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for popping up on me. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Sorry for the comments that I cannot read that are not in English. But thank you. Want to just send love to everyone's here. I don't want to mess up anyone's name or butcher it. So shout out to everybody who is here, from the first person. I see a lot of highs. Hello guys. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Um some of these comments I don't understand, but thank you, thank you. Just say thank you. Um, Happy to hear you're well, Jose. That's really good. Every one of you are still here. Shout out to Uncommon Sister Hosting in the Rome. Please subscribe to his channel if you like the uncommon conversations within the uncommon communities across the uncommon world. He has a lot of good things that you may want to keep up to over there. But yeah, guys, that's my ish for tonight. Like, if you ever wonder whether you're helping your life or you're doing too much, those are just some signs. Signs may look different from people at different stages of their life journey. People different hair grades and textures, the flags may look different. But if you heard anything, less is best, sometimes just do nothing. But never neglect the hair care routine in general, and keep your eyes on you and no one else, because again, that's how the setup felt. That's how the setup, if a failure happens, the need of urgency of wanting to fix things because you think your hair doesn't like someone else's. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Stay away from that. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for continuing to sub. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend. 3-day weekend this week. Woohoo! We play games, do your thing. Shout out again to you, Jose Negron. Thanks for popping in. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here.